Imagine a world sharply divided. On one side, we see immense wealth and luxury. Mansions gleam, champagne flows, and the elite enjoy a life of privilege. On the other side, poverty and hardship are the norm. Families struggle to survive, working long hours in harsh conditions for meager wages. This stark contrast, this gap between the haves and the have-nots, is a central theme in the work of Karl Marx. This disparity, Marx argued, wasn't a natural order. It was a product of a specific economic system, capitalism. He dedicated his life to dissecting this system, exposing its flaws, and advocating for a more just and equitable society. Marx's ideas, though formulated in the 19th century, resonate deeply in the 21st. His work continues to inspire movements for social change and provides a framework for understanding the complexities of our globalized world. Born in 1818 in Prussia, now Germany, Karl Marx was a philosopher, economist, and revolutionary. His ideas would go on to shape the course of history in ways he could never have imagined. He wasn't just a thinker confined to dusty libraries. He was a man of action, deeply troubled by the social injustices of his time. Marx was often seen engaging with the working class, understanding their struggles and aspirations. He witnessed firsthand the harsh realities of industrial capitalism, a system that, in his view, enriched a few at the expense of many. The sight of workers toiling in dangerous conditions for meager wages left a lasting impression on him. Marx's most famous work, the Communist Manifesto, co-written with Friedrich Engels, called for the working class to unite and overthrow the capitalist system. This manifesto was not just a theoretical text, but a practical guide for revolution. This document, a fiery call to arms, sent shockwaves through Europe, challenging the established order and inspiring generations of revolutionaries. It was a bold declaration that the status quo was no longer acceptable. Marx's ideas were rooted in a deep understanding of history and economics. He spent countless hours studying the works of previous philosophers and economists, building a comprehensive critique of capitalism. He saw history as a series of class struggles, each driven by the control and distribution of resources. This perspective allowed him to see patterns and predict future conflicts. Capitalism, he argued, was just another stage in this historical process, one marked by the exploitation of labor. He believed that this system would inevitably lead to its own downfall, paving the way for a classless society. The Industrial Revolution, with its factories and machines, brought about profound changes to society. It marked a significant shift from agrarian economies to industrial powerhouses, fundamentally altering the way people lived and worked. It created incredible wealth, but also led to appalling working conditions, widespread poverty, and a widening gap between rich and poor. The rapid urbanization brought about by the revolution saw cities swelling with workers seeking employment. These workers often toiled long hours for minimal pay, enduring harsh and unsafe conditions. The promise of a better life in the city was often overshadowed by the grim reality of factory work. Marx recognized the transformative power of capitalism, its ability to generate wealth and advance technology. He saw how it could drive innovation and economic growth, reshaping societies in profound ways. However, he also saw its inherent flaws. The relentless pursuit of profit often came at the expense of the workers' well-being. Capitalism, he argued, was based on the exploitation of workers. The labor force was the backbone of the industrial economy, yet they were the ones who suffered the most. The value they created through their labor was largely appropriated by the owners of capital, the capitalists, leaving the workers with a fraction of what they deserved. This imbalance was a source of great tension and discontent. This fundamental inequality, Marx argued, was the root cause of social unrest and would ultimately lead to capitalism's downfall. He believed that the system was unsustainable in the long run. He believed that the working class, the proletariat, would eventually rise and create a more just and equitable society. This vision of a classless society was at the heart of Marx's revolutionary ideas. To understand Marx's critique of capitalism, we need to grasp his concept of historical materialism. This idea is simpler than it sounds. Marx believed that the material conditions of a society, its economic system, and the way it produces goods, shape its social, political, and even its cultural life. Think about it this way. In a feudal society where land ownership was paramount, the relationship between lords and peasants determined the social hierarchy, laws, and even religious beliefs. Similarly, in a capitalist society, the relationship between capitalists, the owners of production and workers, shapes the political system, the legal framework, and even our values and beliefs. Marx argued that everything from our art to our ideas is influenced by the material conditions of our existence. This doesn't mean that our thoughts and beliefs are predetermined, but it highlights the powerful influence of the economic system we live under. Section 5. The struggle for power. Central to Marx's theory is the concept of class struggle, a fundamental and ongoing conflict that shapes societies. He saw history as a series of clashes between different classes, each vying for control over resources and power, a relentless battle that defines the evolution of human societies. In capitalist society, the two main classes are the bourgeoisie, the capitalists, and the proletariat, the workers, each with distinct roles and interests. The bourgeoisie, owning the means of production, factories, land, and so on, hold the power in capitalist society, shaping the economic landscape. Their goal, according to Marx, is to maximize profits, and they do this by extracting surplus value from the labor of the proletariat, a process that fuels their wealth. The proletariat, on the other hand, own only their labor power, which they sell to the capitalists in exchange for wages, their primary means of survival. This creates an inherent conflict of interest, as the capitalists seek to minimize wages and maximize profits, while the workers strive for better working conditions and higher pay, leading to inevitable tensions. This tension, Marx argued, is the driving force of history, propelling societies forward through conflict and resolution. Section 6. Alienation, the human cost of capitalism. Marx believed that capitalism, beyond its economic exploitation, had a dehumanizing effect on individuals. He termed this alienation, a feeling of estrangement and powerlessness experienced by workers under capitalism. This alienation manifests in various ways. First, workers are alienated from the product of their labor. They spend hours producing goods they don't own and often can't even afford. Second, they're alienated from the process of production itself. Work becomes repetitive, monotonous, and devoid of creative satisfaction. Third, workers are alienated from each other. Competition and hierarchy create divisions among them, hindering solidarity and cooperation. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, workers are alienated from their own humanity. Their creative potential is stifled, and they're reduced to mere cogs in a vast economic machine. Section 7. Marx's enduring legacy. Karl Marx's ideas have had a profound and lasting impact on the world. His critiques of capitalism fueled social movements, revolutions, and intellectual debates that continue to this day. The 20th century saw the rise and fall of communist states, many inspired by Marx's vision of a classless society. While these experiments ultimately failed to achieve Marx's utopian ideals, they demonstrated the enduring power of his ideas. Moreover, Marx's influence can be seen in the labor movements that fought for workers' rights, improved working conditions, and social welfare programs in capitalist countries. Even in the 21st century, as we grapple with issues of economic inequality, globalization, and the power of multinational corporations, Marx's ideas remain relevant. His work compels us to question the systems we live under and to strive for a more just and equitable world. Section 8. A call to action. Understanding Karl Marx is not about embracing dogma or advocating for specific political ideologies. It's about engaging in critical thinking, questioning assumptions, and seeking a deeper understanding of the forces that shape our world. Marx's work, even when we disagree with it, provides invaluable tools for analyzing power structures, economic systems, and social relations. In a world grappling with widening inequality, environmental degradation, and the challenges of globalization, Marx's call for social justice and a more equitable distribution of resources resonates deeply. His work serves as a reminder that the systems we live under are not immutable. They are human creations that can be changed and improved upon. As we navigate the complexities of the 21st century, let's embrace the spirit of critical inquiry that Marx embodied, questioning, challenging, and striving for a better future for all.